Hey, this is Ryan from Dakota Angler and Outfitter, and today we're going to be tying a Pat's rubber legs. We're using a size 10 Daiichi 1710 and 140 denier brown ultra thread. First thing I'm gonna do is wrap the hook shank in 20 thousandths lead wire. You'll have to adjust the size of this depending on the size of your hook. I mean, obviously if you're tying a 4 or a 6, you'd want a little thicker lead wire than this. Just do one layer over most of the hook. Like that. If you really want a heavy fly, you can kind of double it back or do a double layer of it if you want to, but for our purposes this will be fine. And start your thread right behind the eye. Trim off your excess. Oops, I'm gonna tighten my vise a little bit here. Alright, so then I like to lightly go over all the lead wire until I get to the back of it and build a little bit of a taper. This just kind of locks the lead in, and I go back forward and back to the back one last time. Keep it from moving around too much on you. Now we're going to use like a span flex or a flexi floss for the legs on this fly. We're going to do, the first ones we're going to do is tie in a pair for your tail. Just off the back, like two little antennae. And these rubber legs, a lot of times you're going to have to adjust them. It seems like you can never quite get them perfectly straight, so there's a certain amount of, you have to just figure out when it's good enough for you. Alright, I've got that tied down. And then we're going to take some brown chenille and strip off the end of it. So you have a tie-in point, and tie that down right in front of where we tied those rubber legs in. Just cover that up with your thread. And then I like to go up to about the middle of the fly. We're going to do 2 more sets of legs on this. And what I like to do is just cut them. I always leave them long. And then tie it in, go over it this way once or twice, and then go over it the other way, switch your direction. Keeps them so they stick out nice and perpendicular from the body of the fly. And you can adjust this when you wrap the chenille forward too. You can adjust kind of how your legs are going to sit. Yeah, so come in front of that just a little more. We're going to do the same thing again. Go over it twice, under, oops, then back over again. Like that, and then bring your thread to the front. And we're going to do one last set of legs, so just like the antenna we did on the back, or the legs we did on the back, we'll do 2 out the front. Like this. Alrighty, like that. They're looking pretty good here. So trim off this excess. Alright, make sure this is tied down well. And what I like to do, so I fold this front set of legs, the front 2, forward, and do 1 loose wrap of thread. It's just going to hold it out of our way. And then take the next 2 and hold that down with 1 more wrap of thread. All that's going to do is when you're wrapping forward, it's going to keep all these out of your way. So then once you get to this first set, you can unwrap 1, and that set of legs will come back, and then you can unwrap the second one when you get to it, and the second set of legs will come back. So start wrapping your chenille forward. So we've gotten to the first set of legs, so I'll unwrap that. Kind of hold them back and do 1 more wrap. So that way your legs stick out pretty nice and perpendicular. I'll unwrap this. Do a second wrap. And then right here, you could either, I could do another wrap, but it would kind of crowd the front of the, yeah, that would be alright actually. If you're in between wraps and you don't think you can get a second one, it's not a big deal. You can just fill it up with some thread and just hit it with a little bit of super glue and you're done. But tie that down, and then being careful not to trim off your legs. Trim off the rest of your chenille, like that. You know what I do a lot of the times, I'll do one more wrap, and I like to do my whip finish in front of the legs. So I'll get started, hold those back as I finish it, like so. And then cut your thread off. So now all of our legs are long. Back this camera up a little bit. You can trim them kind of whatever length you want. I like them to be pretty long because I can always cut them on the water if I need to. I would shoot for just a little longer than your body or your hook. And you can go through, this is almost a kind of a personal preference. It doesn't have to be one way or the other. But just try and get them so they're pretty even all the way around. But it's a really simple fly, and it makes a really good weight fly as well, especially if you're fishing pocket water or anywhere where you need to get down pretty fast. You can use this as a lead fly, and because it's got all that lead wire for an underbody, you get down quickly. But it's surprising how often fish will eat this. I mean, it kind of represents a big stonefly, but it's amazing even in rivers where there's very few stoneflies this big. The fish really like this fly. So thanks for watching.